Well, hello, Twitch world. We are here.
Hello, hello.
We are alive. Insomnia. In the flesh.
In the flesh. Yeah, what's left of it.
Yeah, seriously. I have cast, Gentle Repose on both Insomnia and myself. And we are chilling. How are you today, sir?
Oh, I am amazing. How are you?
Man, I'm good. Yeah, feeling good. We're both talking about just like how wacky the weather has been on the West Coast.
Right.
Foos, kits, everyone, love us. Thank you for coming
Hi,
through.
everyone.
Appreciate the shouts. I mean, it's rare. I feel like that. I don't know. Maybe not since Ninners, but I feel like we have all just seen so much of y'all stream. But if you haven't, and if you're new to the Insomnia world, could you introduce yourself for us? Give us kind of a
Sure.
back of the page rundown.
I'm Insomnia Night RPG. I run a very chaotic D&D show, basically, on Twitch. It's nothing but viewer interaction and my own group of people being crazy and getting off topic, and then back on topic, and then off topic, and then back on topic. Yeah, check it out if you're awake and it's 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and you're doing nothing. Switch over to my stream and get some channel points and cause fucking chaos.
Yes, dude. Yes, we have talked about the chaos that is the breeding ground in Insomnia. And Sage, my prince, bugles up. Like, how the fuck do you guys all? I mean, is it that way in your home games? Is it even more chaotic?
No, like we haven't had a home game in a long time.
Really, just since COVID?
Yeah, we've switched completely to just online because I use Foundry and we all love Foundry now, and it helps with the whole they love it with the whole I add special effects to their characters, their sword sound effects, all this stuff. They really appreciate that. And yes, it's great when like you're sitting at home, and I could set up a TV and do all that stuff, but I think a lot of us are still, I don't know, cautious about getting together. Like we hang out, but there's still a few friends who are like, no, and we're like, yeah, we get it,
No, do it.
So we completely switched just online, and it's been a blast. We've been enjoying it. We have plans on getting a bigger house, and I have a whole plan on a conversion for the garage and all this, and to have more home games and actually let's start streaming home games. Probably still going to use Foundry, still going to use a whole like digital setup in a sense, to where the viewers, instead of getting that interesting view of the overhead and the minis and stuff like that a lot of people do, I'll probably still have it plugged into where you will see that battle map, the whole Foundry, all of that, and then you also get to see the players and frames and stuff like that, because I really like that.
Dude,
I like the aesthetic.
It's really funny because like I, of course, love D&D, but I also like do a ton of video production. I mean, like as an actor, obviously, like whenever I can get work, but even like as just a post editor for other people, or like whatever coming up, just helping people, holding a fucking boom, holding a bounce, doing this, that, the other, right? Like there's so many elements that go into media production.
Little background for you. A long time ago, when I was a little Insomnia, not really a little Insomnia,
you could still sleep. You could still sleep back then.
Yeah, I worked for Sci-Fi Channel before they went to the SY, but I was a props person. So it was weird because they would just call like a group of us and be like, "You have a budget of $500. This is what we need," and you'd be like, "What?" And then you'd gather these things, and then you deliver the items, and then they'd be like, "Okay, you got to spray paint these and make them look old, do the whole aging of an item and stuff like that, depending on what it's for." And I met like Lou Diamond Phillips. It was interesting. So
what a time. Were you like in California doing that? Was that?
Yep.
Okay.
So yep, I was in California, northern.
No, you
Placerville.
told me that on stream that you guys were in LA for a stretch of time.
Yeah, we did move to LA but I wasn't when I moved to LA. That was my friends trying to be actors and me giggling about it. But
sure, you're like, listen, we can party. How about this?
I was like, guys, you're working at Disneyland.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
I know you're trying, but
yeah.
I don't know if I told you that. But so Zach was really into it, like really into it. He was trying so hard to be that actor, And I came home from work one day and I'm looking at my phone. I just watched this Weird Al Yankovic video, and it's that Jungle Cruise Ride
Oh
song.
fuck. Okay.
And that was
Hilarious.
like, that literally is like his life though. Like I showed it to him and he like started weeping and he ran off into the other
Oh
room.
my
And
god.
the other roommate came in, Lou, and, and you guys
He's like,
have
"What the
seen
hell
Lou
did you
on my
do to him?
stream.
What'd
Yeah,
you do
he was
to
like,
Mike?"
what did you do? And he's like, what you do? And I'm like, oh, I just showed him this. And he's like, this is Zach's life right now. I was like, yeah, I know, it's funny. And
That's
he's
why
like,
I'm laughing.
yeah, yeah. I was like, he's trying so hard, but he just can't.
Oh,
It sucks, man.
blasted.
And so I get the whole struggle of the being an actor, but like working at Disneyland, you gotta like probably do what you're doing, trying to get into the sets, trying to do what you can, and it's like it was working. Like when we lived in Northern California, when we were younger, and Sci-Fi was there, and like yeah, props, like that was already a door open there, but like
Heck yeah.
no one kept going forward with it. Like I was like, hey, this is great. You guys are like on your way. You guys are doing your thing. And because I like, it was funny because like I'm sitting there working with that, and then it was like a side job, and then we were on set at a winery, and the winery,
Wait, shooting with sci-fi?
yeah,
There was
and we
like
were
an
on set-
abduction in
there's
Napa.
some yeah something, and so we were up in Apple Hill, so there's like
Okay,
we're
okay.
shooting up there, and there's a winery, and it was like super busy, and they like came down, they're like, you want to make an extra $200? We need an extra bartender. I'm like, sure.
Hell yeah.
And so like I was off, so I was like, I walked over there, started serving wine, and they're like, do you want to keep working here? I was like, sure. And so
Dude,
then I
that
so
is
then I
hysterical.
leave that job, went to because it was paying me way more money in cash every day. So
Like,
I
can't you see the prop master being like, all right, Insomnia, let's go. Pack up the fake alien head and all the goop. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm on the clock as a waiter
Yeah.
now. I'm sorry.
yeah, I was like, it's like, yeah, I'm good, thanks. And they were like, oh, I was
What-
like, yeah. And then Sci-Fi crashed for a while until they got their whole rework, and it was cool meeting people. Like Lou Diamond Phillips was really cool to meet. Like it was interesting
Heck yeah.
that I met him because my family was always watching, what is it, like La Bamba, where he became famous in.
I haven't.
And
Oh yes,
it's and then like I knew him from like the movie Bats. So
He's had like such a. I can't even really La Bamba for sure, but I feel like I've just seen him in so many things. Like he's been in so much.
yeah, he's in a lot. Yeah, he's one of those people who like he wasn't turning down things, and that's like how
Sure.
his personality is. He was very like, he never sat like when they'd feed us. He never sat like away from us. He just sat with us,
He was.
and he
Love
just
it.
he
Man
wore
of
like
the people.
yeah, exactly. He wasn't like, oh, I'm the star of this show, and you guys should respect me. He was just like, what's up?
He's like, can you pass
Oh,
me the
ribs.
mustard?
Yeah, exactly. He's
No,
just
man,
like,
that's
oh,
real.
it's just-
That's real. I mean, it is definitely a rugged world out in LA. And honestly, any creative, period, that not even is trying to necessarily get paid for it, but any like artist that is out there, like trying to create, but also trying to get it seen in such a way that it could be pipelined, that game and grind is unbelievable.
Because you guys are like trying to. Like,
And
it's
Gravance,
not
what
just-
up, Prince?
It's like you guys are trying to get like credit to something, and you're trying to just look at me. I can do this. And,
No, for
but
sure.
there's such competition.
It's saturated now.
It's and so it's like I said, when they moved down there, and I'm like, okay, I'm like, I was like, what are you guys doing right now? They're like, Disneyland. I was like, I mean, okay. They're like, hey,
Yeah,
I'm called a cast member. I'm like,
but important question: were they doing a show at Disneyland? Were
So-
they doing Thunder Mountain?
so yeah, so one of them was doing Fairy Tale Land, and which was great for me because he was like, children, ugh.
Yeah,
so,
I got you. He's gruff as fuck.
so now he's like, I'm doing Fairy Tale Land, and I was just like, you enjoy that.
Yeah.
The other one, trying his like, he was so excited because he got he was working Indiana Jones.
The
and
ride,
then-
which by the way
yeah,
is
which-
incredible.
Yeah, great.
On
but then-
on a mild amount of mushrooms, dare I say holistic? Dare
No,
I say
that-
holistic? It doesn't make any sense.
I rode that ride so many times that in the end we ended up like me and the other roommate, we would make up our own like imaginary script on what's happening, and we'd always
good.
sit in the front, and so like people behind us, like they didn't know what was happening. They thought we were like part of the show now, and we were just great. They're like,
Who are these
riding that
commentators?
ride. They're like, riding this ride with you guys has never been like like that was great. Like we need to do this more often. Like, and
Yeah.
we're like, oh no, I was like, I ride this ride too much.
Yeah.
And
I punched
same
up
thing
the
with
script.
yeah, well, same thing with like Space Mountain. Like we we counted how many left turns there were
Damn.
and how many rights. So, but
And
yeah. I don't remember now.
got
but-
you. No.
No, but yeah,
Vargo
no, he
Scott
came
on
home
the
one day and he was super excited, and he had like a script in his hand, and I'm thinking, oh,
got
he's doing
cast.
like the I forget what it's called, but the nighttime, the evening show.
Sure.
Whenever you got Tinkerbell. I learned Tinkerbell was a guy.
Yeah.
because he's the only person who would fit the machine.
It's hysterical.
Right.
I mean, people, I do love Disney, like in a vague sense in terms of their film. Disneyland has never had like a huge draw to me.
It's
Like it's a lot. You know what I mean? I do enjoy roller coasters and getting
yeah, same
spooked,
here.
right? But
Yeah.
it is. I love hearing that, even kind of historically, because there's so much grind. Like I know so many actors that work at Universal Studios because there is a ton of. I mean, it's not like great pay, but it is a ton of really compelling, actually pretty good character work. Because you're like, walking around like you're like in the New York
Yeah,
section,
yeah.
you're hassling people, and if you're in like Waterworld or
and I imagine they have less restrictions.
yes, a little bit.
Like this, yeah, I couldn't have this if I worked there. Oh, hold on.
You're good. Yo, Vogel, lurk away. Gervanch, what's up, dude? I'm good. I'm thinking about what Insomnia said, just relative. I mean, acting's so fucking hard, dude. I mean, creative shit, period. Getting paid with that is insane. But recently had a callback for more or less the summer Shakespeare program here in LA. Would love to do it, obviously. Love the theater. Like the group that runs it, the creative directors are awesome. Like I love what they do and how they do it. I have auditioned for this. No, all good, man. Was it here? I'm gonna finish this thought real quick, Insomnia. But I have auditioned for this theater. This is the 7th year in a row. And this is either the 4th or 5th year in a row that I've gotten a call back there. And as I left, I was like, can I in good faith, like, is it like, do they feel bad for me? And I think the answer is no. You have to go for like a million times until they're like, oh, we need this type of white guy. But sheesh, it is insane. I was just like, I literally, there are places where I have, even some casting offices where I've been in 8 or 9 times and never booked with them. And it's always crazy because it's sort of like, oh shit, well, it's like if you're like friends with a girl that you like really want to take out, and then eventually you're like, okay, am I just making a fool of myself? Like, do I need to leave the scenario? And it sounds like maybe to some degree this was your friends at Disneyland. And Big Poppy to Animal? What a perfect time. Fair question. Insomnia. Wow.
Oh, I saw it. I saw it.
Unfortunately. You know what? I think Poppy would be willing to take the kids off your hands briefly for you to also come kick it. That's so good. Thanks for coming through, Big Poppy. That's hilarious. Yo, ASL for Insomnia Night, please.
Oh, let's see. I am 37. I think it's been a minute since I counted this.
No. Yeah, you're good.
Hey, what's up? Miranda's in here.
Yeah, Ravenpaw. Thank you for the offline follow. I saw that. I was like, let's go. It's gonna be a great stream.
Miranda's
So
great.
let's crack into this. If you guys don't know Insomnia Night, he is a fantastic DM and player. Runs a great Insomnia Night RPG, the late night actual play, as it were. And if
The
you just-
channel you found mistakenly and then can't stop watching. And
No,
you're
dude,
confused.
it's the algorithm coming through. They're like, listen, you're not sleeping, and you also love D&D. I know this from your search history.
Right.
Check this guy out.
Sometimes, right? It's
Yeah.
you're awake. Go check this out.
No, dude, I love that stuff. I don't know how I found it. I feel like I might have been directed to y'all stream from Fusca. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe it was
yeah.
mutual.
I saw that you had Fusca in here the one day, and so I was in here, and we were talking. Like I was just in your, I'll chat in your chat. And
Yeah, I love
everything
that
when
stuff.
I'm like
I appreciate that,
I try
Raven.
to be everywhere, man. When I lurk, like I sometimes overwhelm myself. I'm like I'm in 27 people's streams right
Yeah.
now.
The
But
Try Monitor.
oh,
Yes.
I do have 3 monitors, and I use the TV every now and then as a monitor.
I knew you had 3 monitors. I felt that in my bones.
Yeah,
There was no
Oh,
doubt in my
I
mind.
have to have that for the weird shit that happens on my stream. Like
Sure.
I like once again, like I don't, you haven't heard this. I have the computer I got is I found on the side of the road for
Okay.
free, and I've only spent like $100 to upgrade it.
Hello?
And it's like 14 years old, but it'll run anything because I overclock once again IT background.
Yeah.
Like I can run anything at like max settings, but I am running out of I have to upgrade soon because the shenanigans are starting to eat away at the system.
Oh,
so.
dude. Okay. We could spend a whole stream just truly asking you technical questions because you have so many
God.
bells and whistles in your layout that I'm always just like stunned. So to hear that you picked up a hitchhiker and it ends up that they were actually a CPU,
Yeah, right,
and
yeah.
that's what you're using to run it is astounding to me, dude. Tip of the cap.
It cracked me up when we found it. Yeah.
So before you streamed actual plays, like I'm curious because you mentioned how background in IT, you love D&D, pandemic happened, stuff shuffled around, and then you found yourself basically wanting to start an actual play, wanting to take D&D like online. What was it like what was your first like tabletop? Was it D&D whenever you were 10, or was it way later than that? Or
I am an oddball. So the first time I played D&D was actually when I was in Oklahoma.
okay,
With
condolences
work.
on being
I
in
used
Oklahoma.
thank you. I did not enjoy my time in Oklahoma.
Yeah, no, but
It was
Oklahoma's
rough.
tough.
It was rough, man. But I was out there doing. I used to install the networks for Walmart.
Oh snap!
What
Okay.
a pain! What a pain! Actually, that was Oklahoma, and I had this group of friends who were like, "Hey, you want to try playing D&D?" And I was like, I know a lot about D&D. I know a lot of the lore, but I haven't actually like sat down to play the tabletop. And they're like, "Oh well, hey, you make a character." I was like, "Okay, I understand the concept." So I made a character. They gave me an address. I show up and
They gave me an address and I showed
yeah,
up.
they gave me an address.
That's
I
about
showed
as
up.
classic as it gets. Like they gave
Right,
me an
yeah.
address and I arrived. I
It
arrived
was
at the address.
it was a nice, everyone was, great, but like the experience was bad because they were not friendly players.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
it-
So
w-
and this is like
Was it 3D?
D&D.
Sorry about
No, it's like second edition.
that. Oh, second. Okay, cool.
And so they weren't. So it was like I don't mean to sound mean, but it was a group of people who didn't like who they were.
Like as people.
And they as people and they
Okay.
projected this.
I did.
And so I've always been 100% happy with who I am. Like it's
Dude,
weird.
Look at you. Honestly,
so-
that shines the fuck through. That's right.
Well, I'm just I've always been happy with who I am. So it's
That's-
hard for me to like I didn't get into the acting stuff because like I was always like I being someone other than me is difficult because I like who I am a lot. I
can't
like
play
who I
villains.
am a little
Yeah.
little just odd. But so like when I got over here, I started I was like I'll make a ranger. I did all this stuff and I'm having fun. But then this one person was just really like pulling everybody down, like
Ugh.
everybody. And I was like, so
dude, and can I just say, because I could not be more riveted. Like if this was a cross country drive, if your store was a cross country drive, we'd be fully gassed up. I have a bunch of snacks. My feet would be up. I am in because somehow Reddit has really hooked me. Like the pandemic got me on that. I never
Reddit.
fucked with Reddit. It wasn't. I would look stuff up. Obviously, it was a resource, but now I like scroll Reddit. And some of the horror stories are impossible to believe. And
Right,
but I wonder, like, whenever you say this person was bringing everybody down, were they just super Edgeblade? Were they Edgeblade the Black? Was it dual twin bladed dark blades? What was going on?
no, it was more like they wanted to be like the hero
Main character.
and like put down everybody else's character.
No,
And
sir.
it was a little rough. Like I'm like, you told me I couldn't play I also had an issue with like old editions because I'm like I always wanted to play a goblin. I feel like I'm a goblin. So
Bro, that's
so like
hilarious.
and then like everyone's like you can't do that. They're evil. I'm like I mean, so is the paladin who's torturing a town for information. But okay, but whatever. I guess viewpoints,
yeah.
right?
We all have our
So-
justifications. Is the point?
It's, So it's just and then here I have this player who's like letting us almost die so he can get to the goal, and then just being it
Let
was
me ask you this:
horrible. It
were
was-
they a rogue?
Yes, actually.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
See, I'm
yeah.
just like a weight guesser at a country fair. I have an inkling for these things. Dude, that sucks. I feel like in some way, shape, or form, we've all probably experienced some version of that, even if it wasn't at a D&D
Right.
table, where it's kind of like,
Yeah.
why is this coworker making this shift so bad?
Yeah,
what I mean?
why are you making it hard? Like there's ways to make this like way easier. Like why are you making this difficult? It's fine. Like in the DM, he didn't help the situation out. Like
Oh, that
the
sucks, yeah.
the people who I like, and he wasn't one of the ones I knew. He was like a new person to me, and so I just walked. They were like, "Oh, you're welcome back anytime." I was like, "No, I'm good, thank you for this
Yeah,
experience."
yeah.
It
No.
made me realize why I didn't do this, and I'll come back to it in the future. Most of my actual D&D stuff is more like past few years, like 4 years.
Okay, cool.
But as for like the lore and everything, I've read the books. I really love the old school Baldur's Gate game. Like
on PC
not
or what?
not on PC.
Yeah.
Yes. Same thing with like Planescape Tournament, all of those.
I don't know
things like
Planescape Tournament. Is that
that you should
like
definitely try
like
that
a
out.
early
It's
2000s?
before. Jesus, let me Google.
Yeah.
That. I don't. It's an old game, bro.
Dude, Fusca, you know exactly what we're talking about. And Richter completely
Planescape
agree.
Came out
You don't need to win D&D.
a long. You don't need a win D&D.
Like,
Well,
you
as
can't.
I explain to everybody who plays with us
You
in,
can
in
lose
my
D&D,
table.
but
Yeah, is that like I don't like min maxers. I feel D&D is a multiplayer game. It is a party
oh fuck
game,
yeah.
and having flaws, you have a flaw because your friend is gonna have that not have that flaw.
Yes.
If you all have like horrible intelligence, I don't know what to tell you. That's your fault.
Yeah,
For,
yeah.
like, but it's a party game. Like we're it's man. There's this really good game. It's called Dokapon Kingdom. I don't know if any of you've ever played this before.
Wait, what the fuck? Did you say Dunkapong?
No, Dokapon. It's hard to say. It's like
Dokapon?
Dokapon Kingdom. It was the first time I ever played it was for the Wii.
Okay.
And it's a party game, but it's like a dungeon game. And you start off, you're all friends, but the goal of the game is to have the most money in the
Okay,
end.
so it's life.
So at first you're like all like bros. You're like, we got this. We're going through. But it comes to a point where you're like, they walk in your path, and you're like, you have a bounty on you for like 200 gold, and I can kill you.
yeah.
So-
And what are the mechanics of like combat? Like how does that?
It's been a minute. Once again, it's
and
for
just
the
so I
Wii.
understand, this is
This was like an old school Wii party game.
okay. But what's the name of it again?
Hold on.
Because
before I, like,
Foos
say
is
it,
saying
and then
type it out. I
goes-
think that's probably a good move.
Yeah.
Pools
Yeah,
of
right?
Radiance, I've never heard of. Plan B Scapes is getting a reboot this year, Sage says. That is
There you go.
nutso. Okay.
Pop over here.
Well, that's
there you
exciting.
guys go.
Thank you.
So
I'm-
this was it was a fun party game.
Kingdom.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Okay,
it-
so you
it's-
clearly love this type of stuff. You love social games.
I like party games.
You love
like
the
I love
combination of
MMOs.
puzzle
I like
in combat.
Yeah. I like I'm a big MMO player. I played WoW when it was in alpha. So I played current WoW. I'm not subscribed right now, but I imagine if a good patch comes out, I'll resub, do the
Cool.
content, then leave again.
Do the
Um,
content and leave.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
how I operate. But no, I like party games. So yeah, for me, like D&D is it's a party game, and it's
Yeah.
about having your party members to rely upon. So and you'll notice I have big parties. Like I have a 7 on Wednesday later on here tonight. I have 7 players, and I like that. I like the big party. Like people are like, oh, it makes things rough. I'm like, no, it really doesn't. You just have to know what you're doing.
Yeah,
you
sure,
gotta
sure,
you
sure.
gotta make some adjustments here, and they always freak out. Like Miranda, she's like, oh, there's a
that Raven?
dragon. I'm like, yeah. She
Cool.
like her and Kevin. They're it's an ancient dragon. I'm like, but there's 7 of you.
Yeah, you can do this.
You can do this, and you're also like level 11. So let's take a deep breath and just deal with the dragon. Like
That is.
it cracks me up. No, there's so many ways that you can make it. Like, and plus you're the DM.
Yeah. If you need to
You know, make it
streamline it,
fun.
streamline it. If you need to trim it,
Yeah.
trim it. No, man, I see that. I mean, like you guys really party over there, and you know, part of it for me is like I'm usually tuning in like 2 hours into it at like 10:30. You know, whenever the Northern California kashish is ripping through my bloodstream like the Indy 500 race car drivers, and so at that point I'm almost like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on? But there is such like synergy and such like a shared vibe where it's like, oh my god, we have to absolutely, how are we going to get this guy out of this trap, or we absolutely need to tactics around this boss that seems overpowering, and then at the same time we can do 5 minutes on, you know, what type of kettle chip we specifically prefer.
What is someone snacking on tonight? Yeah,
Exactly,
yeah.
dude. So
we-
you always loved it. Like you mentioned that, you know, you were super into Baldur's Gate, and that was concurrent with you saying that you know, were sort of aware of the lore. Am I putting that together right? That you were,
Yeah, I
like, were you reading some of the supplements while not playing for a good stretch of time?
so not the D&D supplements in a sense, but like more of the stories that would happen in Faerun or the Forgotten Realms, and then Dragonlance, like high school, just read all the Dragonlance,
fuck,
everything like
yes,
that.
yes,
So like, you know,
okay,
you're just sitting there in English class, you're just like, what am I gonna read? I was like, fantasy, why not?
Yeah.
And high school is weird, but yeah, like it was so I have all the lore just inside here. My
Yes.
brain stores useless knowledge, so like there's
Yes.
useless D&D lore that I just have. But no, a lot of it, like I love Baldur's Gate for the fact that they start you off in Candlekeep,
Yeah.
and if you know what Candlekeep is, it's a giant library. Well, you
Yes.
can actually walk inside that library, open a bookshelf, and it's full of books, and you can right click on the book and it will open, and there will be a book, and I'll just keep clicking and
Dude,
reading.
shut the
And
fuck
so-
up. In game?
Yes, so you could spend hours in like one little bookshelf, and then and that just continued. Like Black Isles which became BioWare, by the way. They were so great at the lore and telling of a story. It continued to like they made Baldur's Gate 2. They made Icewind Dale, which is another great game and story. You go into the spine of the world, and you go into this cave. You're killing some ancient lich for some reason. You don't really know why, but then you find books in there and you start reading. You're just like,
Yeah.
I gotta read these. I gotta figure this out. You know?
Oh, dude, this makes me so badly, and I love all of this. Sage, I know you're a big WoW guy, so I will defer to you on those patch notes. But, dude, whenever I'm hearing this, like, it reminds me so much of some sort of short form sketch where it's essentially like, the wizards of Candlekeep. Like, come, we must make haste to this area and go. And, like, they're, like, they're fighting frost giants. They're like, we've made it. Oh, there's so many books. You know what I mean? And, like, they don't leave. You know what I mean? Or
I think it's more like in the scenario, it's like everyone's like, hurry, we must go, and then my character's sitting there like, wait a
yes,
minute.
there it is.
Like I had 2 more chapters.
Yeah, where the fuck is D'Artagnan? Yeah, I mean, man, that's so beautiful. Well, yeah, clearly you do like take it all in. Has it always been like this love of fantasy, this like sort of retention, this osmosis? But have you ever run a proper module, or would that be kind of boring? to you?
So yeah, no, we that's like all we've been running right now is some modules. We started like Wednesday's game was Dragon Heist, but we
I
did
didn't
Dragon
put that
Heist. We're
together.
done.
Okay,
We're done
okay.
with Dragon Heist, and so I just renamed it Adventures in Waterdeep, and because they've like Dragon Heist is 1 through 5, and it's just an early access module to get you into Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
we run Dungeon of the Mad Mage on Saturdays with like kind of a different group, and Liz runs that.
Yeah, she
and,
does. She's great.
She yes, she did like her own intro to get us there, and so wait, ever played? Yes, ever play Keep on the Borderlands? I have played Borderlands, not Keep on the Borderlands. But no, I forgot what I was saying. Okay, yes, Liz. So we like once we surpassed, we did everything, they defeated everything, they heist the dragon, as a lot of them joke about, and so now they're like I have this whole thing going about that there's other things amiss, and they're trying to figure it out. Like one of them is literally like cursed by his weapon, and he's now like trying to summon a sun god, a new god, and they've gone to the church, like they established an entire church now. There's a high priest named Remus they have to deal with every now and then.
Yes, okay.
And he has them. They're all going out and collecting other armaments of this god, and it's not a good thing, but it's great because only I think like 3 of them suspect that it's a bad thing.
Yes, let's go. Okay, that's what I was hoping you were gonna say. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
They're super keen. They have no idea they could be backdoor.
Yeah.
So it's almost like it started as these modules, and then as you guys completed them, there was sort of a natural transition. People wanted to continue the game. I mean, is it because they still had active like hooks they wanted resolved, or they just loved their characters, or kind of what was the vibe?
I guess all of it. Like we're just
Cool.
having fun.
That's awesome.
So it's all about having fun, and like I said, I was like, the game doesn't have to end. Like if you guys are bored, like you tell me, and they're like, no, this is great. Let's keep going.
That's right.
So it's like we just keep going. So they're like, as you have stuff to tell us, keep telling us. I'm like, oh yeah, totally. I was like, I be careful. I have a lot of lore in my head, so
Yeah, you guys are
there's a
gonna
lot
chase
of
down a
things
sun
in my
god.
mind. No, they're gonna create a sun god. They're gonna bind him back together, and then it's gonna be great.
And so, is that gonna piss off? And guys, I appreciate these comments. I'm about to rip through them because a lot of them I have questions about or comments on. But is the negative impact of them? Okay, 2 questions, 2-parter, dude. You have 2 hands.
Mm-hmm.
Open both.
Sometimes.
Hold both palms. But is the reason that this is potentially dangerous because other gods will be beefed up about this, or because the person they're reassembling is, a chaotic?
Yeah,
evil
the person they're
leader?
reassembling is not a nice person. He
Okay.
used to be a sun god, and then he was banished and like torn into pieces, and
Okay.
his essence is what's remaining in these pieces of these items that have been like thrown about Faerun. And they're, we had the hammer, and already it like fucked up. He was a Tempest priest.
Yes,
And
dude, I've got a Tempest cleric. Yeah.
He took it. Yeah, cleric. Sorry.
No,
And
same
he
thing.
he dropped his old mace, and he now uses this new mace, and it commands him to do things in the name of the sun. And
Dude,
and so
that's
like
gonna start
I had
getting murky, huh?
right. So he loves it, and then it didn't help that their buddy George
So
Bailey, the necromancer wizard in the party, is kind of chaotic a little bit, and so he's with it. He's like, oh, let's do more things to get this sun god power, and it'll help us, and he's just causing issues for everybody else, and it's great.
Oh, dude, this does sound like a rich field to plow. Okay, well, let me take some of these comments because I'm then curious, like, because even with Mad Mage, like, well, yeah, I'll just wait and then we'll kind of crack into that because I'm not familiar with a lot of these games, guys. Okay, I do agree in a big way, Sage. Sage says large groups work well when they all get it too. It's harder when they don't.
Yes,
1000%, right?
Yes, that is one of the key factors. Is like, it's a little harder for new players. Sometimes it takes them a minute to realize, like, what am I doing on my turn? But
Sure.
it's like I love new players.
Yeah, the answer is you're healing me, dude. That's what you're doing. All right.
Exactly.
Help me out.
But yeah, you're completely correct, Sage. Everybody has to kind of like know how to play off each other, and which is a good thing. Once again, I don't play without cameras, so
Bro,
we get to
that's
see
so
everybody.
funny.
And
Listen,
because I tell everyone, I'm like, you're not walking to a D&D shop or like your friend's house wearing a paper bag. Or if you are, something's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, what do they look like? What do they sound like?
Yeah.
That's so good, dude. Yeah, I feel like I have a pretty large group. Like I have 7 in one of these games, and
7 is great.
it's only really possible because I feel like, well, I mean, they know there's that conceit of understanding they need to, yield some time and give some space and just like be good collaborators in that sense. But they also have a singularity of like purpose and vibe.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
it's really whenever we get those isolated kind of, lone wolves or people that maybe don't know how the game is played and how group oriented it is. Like, I think those are when we kind of get these growing pains. What exactly? So Keep on the Borderlands, Richter, is a second edition. the D&D Basic set. Okay, amazing. From one of the original modules. Insane. Did not know that. I have never heard of that. Have you heard of it?
Printed December 1979.
Wow, let's go. D&D Basic, pre-second edition, insane. I'm gonna need to check that out. I talk about Silver Marches all the time, and you know what? Since we're kind of on it, I'm curious people's thoughts, and give me your thoughts on this, Insomnia. Like, is it super gauche? Like, I'm in the process of punching up my Discord, and I want to create some spaces for more or less like campaign resources. It'll be a lot of like just links to Google documents and whatnot, PDFs, random events table, stuff like that. But is it illegal? I mean, whatever. I'm not asking you for legal advice, but let's just talk about it. Like, you know, if I put up the PDF version of Silver Marches, is that like tacky? I mean, I was thinking about that today, and then I was like, oh shit, should I not even do that? Because I'm not trying to like open a Pirate Bay Lite.
But my whole opinion of the internet, it's a place to share. So
totally. Okay.
That's how I was like. That's how I took the internet when I was a kid. And
yeah, to me being arrested, I'm like, Insomnia.
Yeah,
you said it would be fun.
Help. Yeah, right. I mean, like my wife knows. I ran for a long time a Plex server.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
You're already a hero,
exactly.
You're a hero out there. Got it.
I'd share the information with certain, and I had it set up where like you can, if the movie wasn't there or the show, you could literally search for it. And it would queue it up to, it would auto do stuff. Yeah. I got tired of maintaining it, but yeah.
No, for sure. That's not a big ask. Okay, because with that in mind, I'm gonna go ahead and screenshot that, Richter, because I'm curious about Keep on the Borderlands. Like some of the biggest additions I feel like to me as a DM has simply been like discovering that I had a joy for just reading old modules, you know, where it's kind of like, holy snap, like what a cool idea, or what a thoughtful bit of lore, or what a very like helpful like weather, you know, random weather table, or you just stuff like that. Like I haven't seen as many as of the modern like adventure guides. I've more done like Strahd, Dragon of Icespire Peak. I've seen the books and run to some capacity Apocalypse and Mines of Phandelver, but they don't seem to be like front loaded like some of the old ones where they're like, here's this world.
Yeah, they're not really. They're definitely more for the way they built them now. Like I don't think a lot of people understand that Ghost of Saltmarsh is actually from Greyhawk.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so and Greyhawk is a whole nother setting of D&D.
Like outside of Faerun.
Correct.
Yeah.
But they don't give you a lot of that in like detailed information anymore. I think it's more. I also want to say, like, a lot of the modules right now for 5e are like beginners. You know, like
1 to 5. It's like
they're like let's get people into the game, and it really is correct. Greyhawk is an original D&D setting. Yep. I think it's like, how do we get people into the game? You know, because that's how I see it as. Like I'm like, so I don't mind starting with modules, like, and then we like take it to where our imaginations can take us. You know, so, like man, let's keep going, because there's so much to this world. Like I started a new campaign on Fridays. We started Spelljammers because these
my god, I'm so jealous.
Chaotic
Spelljammers so bad.
These chaotic demons that are in my Discord wanted Spelljammers, so I was like, okay, we'll do
harassment.
Spelljammers, and then it was like I had my own idea in my head, and then they convinced me, because I was like, I'm looking more, you know, like magic moving ships, and they're like, no, there has to be some tech, Mike. And I'm like, damn it. Fine.
Yeah.
Fine. I was like, okay, we can do that. So I'm like, all right, they'll just be class, like civilization levels, basically. And
yes, okay.
So the higher advanced ones will be like a level 3 civilization, you know, kind of what we use, you know. And so, but it really lets me take them to different worlds. And right now they crashed onto a level 1 civilization, so it's gonna be like normal D&D for a minute.
Let's go.
And they'll have to work their way. Like there's some, I already have plans for this. That they have to go and find a special engine core. And if any of you like anime, and if you watch the series Outlaw Star, kind of have that vibe going.
I've never heard of it.
You never heard of Outlaw
Oh,
Star?
no.
You should go watch Outlaw Star. It's
Yeah?
on. I think it's on Hulu. All of it. Yeah.
Opening a tab. Well, but let's tuck into that a little bit in something, because like I mean, not necessarily Outlaw Star. I do have that in the tab. But if you're, because the whole reason I wanted to kind of start between two DMs was to, I mean, steal ideas from better DMs than me, but also to just sort of chop it up and hopefully provide like we talked about entry points, but for DMs to feel confident, taking their group of, however many people and running a game for them. In the example of, starting, I mean, you guys are just starting Spelljammer, but if you guys were Mad Mage, for example, how, and maybe that's a bad one because I know Liz runs that, but how would you advise, people that are starting with a module to sort of front load or build into their campaign such that they could continue it? Oh my gosh, of course. I literally thought you were going to pause and think about that, and I was so proud of myself. I was like, man, I really ask a hell of a question. He wants to pause.
No, they're just asking me a question.
He needs time to reflect on the quality of this
I
question.
need time to like answer my children's silly questions.
They're like, who is that man, Papa?
No, they're used to this. Like they understand this. They think it's great. Like they brag. They tell their friends in school, like, oh, my dad. But they say it wrong. They're like, my dad's a YouTuber, and I'm like, no.
Don't say that.
No, I was like, never call me that again.
My dad's a
but,
TikToker.
Yeah, right. Well.
Dude, God bless you,
Well,
Mike. You're like, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, getting into a module. So they try to give you like a primer, but it's funny. It's like Mad Mage. It's not too hard. If you're gonna do Mad Mage, like you can literally just have your party be in Waterdeep, and there's a really cool, what do you want to call it, third-party material add-on to Mad Mage on like DM's Guild, and it's basically advertising the Mad Mage dungeon as oh god, what is it? The Running Man. Have you ever seen the movie The Running Man?
Of course.
So think of it as like
Let's
Hallister is now a like a sportscaster, and he's like advertising his dungeons, and he's like, fame and victory and glory, come on down to my dungeons, and so like
everyone's in these sweet tracksuits.
Yeah, right, yeah. So like and a good example of this would be when we got to the end point of Dragon Heist, and we kind of were doing other things. We killed another dragon and stuff like that, and then we got back. We came back to their Troll Skull Manor, and it was all nice. Sorry, I'm listening.
Oh.
They were resting.
You.
They're sitting there resting. I know they're sitting there resting, and I they came home, and I was like, oh, the inn is crowded. It's full of people. There's a ton of people in here. You're not sure why it's so active because it's late at night, but being projected through magic on all these like these magic projection screens is some mad wizard, and he keeps shouting, and he's advertising. You're seeing people running in a dungeon, and then randomly they explode, and you hear, and there's people in the bar just cheering, and
yes, let's go. You see money changing hands.
Yeah. You see bets going off and all this, and they're like, what is going on? And they ask their barkeep, who happens to be a ghost, and he's like, oh, it's the Mad Mage's dungeon has returned, and they're like,
yeah.
Well, what is that? They're like, oh, the yawning portal reopened since you guys have been gone for a few months.
Dude.
Yeah, he reopened,
so and like they lean over and there's some guy just like doing a bad Arnold. He's like, wait, can I ask?
Oh, yeah.
That is so beautiful, man. That's very easy to picture. Like, okay, well, fuck. Okay, I need to circle back because I gave you a two-parter and I only
what was
handed you one of the fucking parts. So forgive this mildly ADHD zigzagging. But just to circle back, in the example of this, created sun god with the heart of darkness, like whenever this sort of started to come to be and you had this idea, was it like, did you know from Jump Street that this was going to be a villainous kind of turn?
Well, so I knew it was going to be a bad thing for him. So
cool,
I have this I have this magic shop, as we call it, and it's like an ultra dimensional. I have everything you could ever ask for shop, and then they got thrown in there one day, and was a pretty cool scene. It's like a maelstrom of magic, and then they end up in this place, and it was like empty, but there's just items everywhere, and they had and like they could touch an item, but it was like just tell them a price in their head, and they're like,
Yes,
oh,
love
I don't
that.
have that, I don't have that much money yet.
It's
But
the price
they
lock guarantee.
yeah. So they eventually got enough money, and they go back to this place, and they, without even reading the fucking notes of the item or anything, the Tempest cleric is like, I want that mace, and I was like,
Let's
you know,
go.
and so he dropped the gold, he took the mace, and he's like, he wielded it. I was like, roll a wisdom saving throw, and he's like, okay, and he rolled, he failed. He's like, I'm okay with this, and I was like, okay. He's all, what to do? I was like, I mean, nothing horrible yet. I
Yeah.
was like,
Damn,
but
you put it to him like that?
I told him, I was like, nothing horrible yet. You'll see. And
Okay,
but he's
okay,
so
okay.
he's like Dylan is such a great player, and he's come a long way, and which I love to see. I love that his play has grown so
That is awesome
much.
to see.
and
You're like,
and him
growing.
like him getting more involved with his character, and he loves his character. He loves the route it's going, and we sat there and as time progressed, like everybody else was seeing it, and he refused to see the
dude,
things that were happening to
Is
himself.
it like that? Do you think he's just like intentionally being like, no, I like this. I like this
he
mace,
loves
dude.
it. Yeah, you know, he loves like it's called the Torchbearer, and like anytime
That's a
that
good name.
yeah,
Prometheus.
yeah, he like basically let in some of that essence of that god in him, and so he sees, you know, much differently than the others. He thinks, and so he gets a little like I had to clean up all his Tempest spells and give him like put a well, it's the same spells, just put a fire twist to them, you know.
Yeah,
and,
yeah. In more of
you
a
know,
brooding back end punishment. Okay.
yeah.
So that is so good. Is it also well, okay, let me take some of these comments, and then I want to know more about
Do your
this Mad Mage transition. Sage, assume that you're not doing it for the money, you can kind of get away with it. Appreciate that. That's my same assumption with stand-up comedy. You know what I mean? Doing it for zero. So don't hassle me. Agreed, there's a ton of stuff in old books. I did not know that Greyhawk was the name of the original setting. Like, that seems like a very important
It was
pub trivia.
yeah, they
you know?
so I guess you could say with everything like going on with society, and you know, we don't want to say things to offend people and stuff like that. Greyhawk is an offensive realm, or it
Oh,
can
is it?
be.
Is it?
It's
Or
like
can be, got it.
if anyone knows it, like what is it, Black Sun and stuff like that.
Dark Sun.
Yeah, Dark Sun. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm reading that right now.
It's like it's like it's a
Thank you, Foos.
environment that, like, if you're gonna play it, like they're even talking about bringing Dark Sun to
yes,
5e.
I've read that.
and I'm like, how are you going? I want to know what you're gonna do. I'm curious
Yeah.
without, because like everyone, and I get it, I understand offending people, but you know, it's like, how are you going? What are you gonna change out of curiosity? Because there's a lot
Yeah,
in that place
yeah.
that just isn't like kosher currently.
Yeah.
Um,
They're like
and-
somewhat shaded sun. It's like,
it's
you know,
slightly, yeah. It's just interesting to me. So there's so many like worlds out there and
Yeah.
realms and that they don't talk about, and so you know, it's like Eberron's awesome. Eberron's like a cool steampunk, you know, futuristic but medieval place, and it has its own thing, and you have like Greyhawk is just dark and twisty, and
I love that. In Richter, I'm screenshotting all of this. I'm going to scope that out. But then you go to something like Spelljammer Insomnia, right? Where it's sort of
right,
like,
where
you know,
it's
you
gonna
can
be
have
like everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Richter, I don't know if I can only imagine that you already follow him, but Lord Gasumba on Twitch runs Living Greyhawk,
No way.
42-year campaign, and
Shut
he
the
has
fuck
spent
up.
a ton of money. If you go to, I think, yeah, he's
Let's
online
shout
right
him
now.
out. Let's
He's
shout-
online right now.
Oh, what are we doing here? Let's-
right? No,
No, let me hit this real quick.
yeah. Let me get the name for you here correctly. That way you
Look,
got it.
dude, I'm a giver. All right, 42-year campaign. Shut up.
Yes, let me post this in your, if I can.
Yeah, please.
There you go. This guy right here knows his fucking D&D shit. And he runs a
Gosumba.
custom. Yes, he runs a custom 1 and 2E rule set, and it's really cool. It's
Fuck
and he
yeah.
has actual miniatures. he has, but he sets up like the way he has things set up. Mind you, 42 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
You've
like
been honing
he
it.
has like yeah, and he has like they have like a Greyhawk Con, and he streams. He has a, like last year or was it last year or this year? I don't remember. But he had this huge night tournament, and they had like little horses and the figurines,
Like jousting?
and he yes,
Fuck
it was
yeah, let's
great. It
go.
was cool, and he has great people. You know, it's a great stream to watch if you like Greyhawk, and if you want to get into Greyhawk, they're great.
Fuck yeah. Okay. Lord Gosumba.
And with that, he has Anna Myers, I believe it's her. She has taken their game and like once again other players as other DMs as well. Like they created this living Greyhawk setting, and she's like mapped it all out, like what factions own where now,
Yeah.
and what towns are still alive, what towns have been destroyed.
Damn. I didn't know
Yes,
that
exactly.
right there. Yeah,
Miniature
that's
war
a-
games.
that's
Exactly.
interesting.
Like they actually they talk about how, because people were like, Spelljammers. Are there Spelljammers at Greyhawk? And they're like, no, we destroyed that place. Like they had a
Yeah.
tower for that. They're like,
Yeah.
we destroyed that, so we need to have to deal with that. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's.
oh,
I
okay.
didn't know that. You're talking about in the original installment, there was like
well,
a Spelljammer tower.
and they're yeah.
Wow.
And so
That's
a
rad.
place for them to dock.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
and
Which, by the
they're
way,
like,
just like real quick, I think because I think you came through on the Wheel of Time stream. Like you're familiar with that series, huh?
yes.
Like I love how throughout there's such references to like the Age of Heroes, but that had sort of fallen, right? It was like way in the past, but clearly from referencing it was technologically way advanced from where the present time in the books takes place.
Right.
And I just always love that in fantasy. Whenever you're like just realizing that, while everything is in the Iron Age, the predecessors millennia removed actually had access to much higher levels of technology. Like that shit is compelling as fuck.
Yeah, exactly. So it's cool to see, like I said, there's some amazing streams to watch, and I think all the D&D streamers, like we each have our own little thing, and his is Living Greyhawk is really cool.
That's
like,
rad, man. I need to check that out. I'm once my Tuesday night campaign ends, I really want to stream an actual play, and I've considered doing like an old book, like straight up Silver Marches, or honestly, I wasn't going to call it Dark Sun, but like taking some elements of that. But man, I love taking in. It sounds like he is not a digital tabletop. He's an analog.
no, he's old school,
That's
and
rad.
but like he has like,
Bugles up.
once again, he has the resources to like show it in a way that you're not confused about what's happening.
Got it.
Sometimes
Critical.
sometimes people take it and they have the camera set up, but like you don't quite, like, I can't follow sometimes. I'm like, okay, but who's this guy? Like where is he actually at? And then they move the top. Okay, that's him. Okay.
Got it.
I was like,
Got it.
got it. It takes a minute sometimes, but like
Yes.
his setup, like you can see what's going on. He has multiple different camera angles, and
Well, we'll scope
it
that.
shifts, and yeah.
Well, but
It-
but hey, we're here today to talk about your
course,
setup,
of course.
Insomniac. Come on, bro. Now, a great cross section to a very generous individual, but all due respect, I don't give a shit about Gazumba. All right, no, this sounds awesome. I'm gonna scope that out. But like, for you, man, like you loved it, you got into it, you wanted to stream it. Were there a lot of hiccups taking it from game to actual play, or was the IT background enough to make it smooth, or like what do you wish
Yeah.
you knew if you were about to start an actual play?
Oh, I think I think I took the right approach at the beginning. It was really getting the the niche of the channel going, figuring out
Like
what
your tone,
did
your
yeah
vibe.
what do the viewers want. Because so like unfortunately with any D&D game, streaming just D&D can be boring. What is bringing people in to watch and interact with you? What is making people invest?
Yeah.
Mics, exactly. Like I have a Yeti sitting over here.
Yes,
like,
there we go.
I'm
Right.
just using the headset right now, but yeah, no, definitely. Like that sound quality is very important. For me, it's sound quality, it's interaction, and it's the aesthetic of my overlays.
Yeah,
Um,
overlays are huge.
Yeah, and I really, I don't understand sometimes when I see someone come in and they're streaming D&D, and no offense to them, but I'm just seeing your Discord. I'm like, I gotta have a little bit more. Let's have some more, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and I love, you know, boosting people up who are like, we like to raid into other people, you know, at night.
Yeah, you guys are awesome with that.
And yeah, we try. And it's like I wanna like let's just find our niche. Like I figured out, like at the beginning, I was an interactive, but not all the players were. So like I kind of try to get everybody involved now. We didn't have as many channel point redeems at the beginning. It was a little more simpler because it wasn't just like, I always had to think about like, when I'm DMing, what can I handle? But then I was like, I noticed I was getting flaws where some of the other DMs couldn't keep up, in a sense. No offense to them. I always felt like I didn't prep them well enough. You know, that's how I put it.
Yes.
And
yes.
oh, hello.
Hey.
Oh gosh.
A new challenger approaches.
Yeah. So
put the headset on. Let's talk D&D. Put the headset on.
Stop it.
That's so good. Yo, who do I see?
That's Harper.
Who doth my eyes cross?
This is the littlest one.
Yo,
Harper.
shout out to Harper. There it is.
What are you doing?
You know, one of the oldest adages in showbiz is don't perform with a dog and don't perform with a child. Yeah. Because both of them will steal the show. Oh my gosh. Yeah, a Harper. It's like, everyone make a charisma save. Oh, that's a harpy.
Right.
That's a harpy. My bad. Yeah, well, shout out, man.
Go on. What do you need?
That's so fresh. I could go for some.
Fine. Gosh, she's like,
all right, chill. Now, like,
oh, you want candy?
Harper speaks for all of us, I think, in the sense that we are looking for candy. Richter, that's so good.
Hey, can I get you candy in a little bit?
And Richter, I love all of those things. Invest in your mics 100%.
I'm still here. I hear you. I'm just gonna go get yours.
No, do your thing, man. Listen, bring us back some candy, Mike.
Right, get you guys all candy.
What a shot! Is that not the coolest thing you've ever seen? As he walked into the moon,
into the ship,
like come the fuck on. That was rad, dude. I swear to God, come back with some Funyuns, a diet Sprite, and some hard candy for your boy. All right,
I don't have Diet Sprite. I currently, what do we got? We got Diet, or the sugar-free. What is it that we got here?
I'll take a ginger ale, or honestly, just sparkling water is great.
The zero sugar cream soda by Dr. Pepper and the zero sugar cherry Dr. Pepper.
Hit me with a cherry DP. Let's
Here,
live.
Take that to your brothers. Take it to your brothers.
This is so good. This is truly what I live for. And I think is honestly an accurate and compelling cross-section into just a smidge, just a taste of what Insomnia streams are, right? People are coming through, all right?
It's just how that goes. Yeah.
That is the coolest thing I've ever seen, dude. Watching you emerge from that ship and walk back into the interview.
Yeah,
come on.
Use the what's it called? It's the NVIDIA broadcaster, and it'll erase everything in the background except for you. Like it's good at detecting you.
Yeah, like.
But you gotta have the NVIDIA card.
Okay, and is that through OBS?
No, NVIDIA Broadcaster is its own software from NVIDIA.
Oh,
so I have a 3060 graphics card, and it's just extra software people don't know about.
That's right. Okay, dude, yeah, seriously. A game derailed by a small child? Impossible. In my games, typically the small children are within the dungeons.
Oh, yeah,
so,
exactly.
You know, it can be either or. It can be IRL, or it can be in-game.
I used to use XSplit, Sage. Yeah, I used to when I originally was streaming on Twitch when it was Justin TV. I used XSplit, but now I just use OBS.
But let's talk about the Insomnia and Sage. Thank you for that. Like, you know what? And I wish I dove into that more with you as well, Sage. Like, you know, XSplit versus like, what are you using now? Is it just the Nevia software?
Oh no, so like right now, like I'm not streaming, but yet no, it's like back-end software. And all it does, like the only thing it can do a lot, but I just told it to just erase my background completely.
Okay, got it.
It's just like an extra layer. And no, I stream with just OBS and a lot of scripts, I guess you could say. And I have my own bot.
Hell
that
yeah.
is hosted by my computer, and that way it can do all the weird shit that it does.
What the fuck does that even mean, dude?
It means it's not like it's not a bot that is online.
It's a home bot.
It's like
Homebody.
he's part of my desktop and everything. So like I can go in and customize him more.
I'm picturing like a 4 to 5 inch Wally style assistant that is sort of
Sure,
zipping around your feet.
right.
You know what I mean? Like untying your shoes occasionally for a laugh, like that
Right.
type of dynamic.
That would be great. Yeah.
But how are you? I love that though. How are you capturing your players' videos? Is that
Oh gosh, yeah, we just use Discord, which is probably
Discord?
like
Amazing. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah. We just use Discord. Everyone's like, "Oh, use Zoom," and I'm like, "I don't want to pay for Zoom."
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I do like Zoom. I like the quality of Zoom. I do like it. But I have other friends are like, "Oh, I use Skype," and I'm like, "Why?" And they're like, "Because Skype lets you,
You can
set
NDI
where
it.
the yeah."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Okay." I was like, "I get the benefits of that."
So, bro,
It-
okay, listen. Okay, here we are, atop the mountain, all right, of technical actual plays. Me, a young Padawan, having traveled miles up said mountain. You, a master, at whose feet I am knelt. But I'm curious, like, dude, if you are capturing Discord and dropping that into your OBS, are you literally doing a window capture in your OBS?
So
and
yeah,
then
it's
cropping it?
yeah. So I crop everybody into these little frames.
And are you doing that every single time?
No, I only have to do it once. So this my players know. Like I get frustrated when like either they like when we have someone missing, I'm like get on a few minutes early so I can just make some adjustments, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
like
yeah,
to do
yeah,
it
yeah.
on stream. Sometimes I just get like we had for Call of Cthulhu the other night. Like everyone's like I don't know what it was. Discord had an issue, so like it crashed on like 3 people, and then Liz her internet just went out, and we're like oh so. I just pulled up. I just captured like Discord for a moment because she was troubleshooting. So like, well, I'm like, oh here, so you can see all of us without it being all warped. I was like, here's all of us. We're just chatting about. I think we were talking about like Transformers and other crap. But after 20 minutes, Liz was like, hey, just give up. I called Charter. It's down. I'm like, okay. So then I just rearranged the cameras.
Okay.
And, yeah.
respect.
Otherwise, the first time, like I normally have everybody get on like an hour early, and I just set up everything.
Okay.
That way, it just auto-populates then.
Video Ninja I have used and
Yeah, VOD Ninja. Yeah.
Oh, is it VOD Ninja? Okay, great.
Or video. Yeah. Well,
I mean, I don't. Yeah, I treat everything like a vanity license plate that I just can't read. I'm like, let me sound this out. They're like, that says Adobe, dude. It's a word. But
That's great.
Okay, I'm glad hearing that because I've considered that. But I'm like, man, is it crazy to go and capture? But it sounds like if you just have a modicum of patience.
If you have patience, if you have a moment, it's just some prep time. You just go through. It's pretty simple to capture everybody and move it down and then put them where they need to be. And
Cool.
I've used VOD Ninja, but like it also is like I already have Discord. Like I don't like to make it more complex for people, and like I feel like Discord is already for some D&D players. Like guys, they don't understand some technology.
Sure.
And so like for me, like even getting them into like Foundry, what was kind of a task, and then getting them to like I let them kind of choose which HUD they use, and a lot of the old school ones, they just want something simple because giving them too much information is a little overwhelming.
Yes.
So because like they're not gamers. So like I played on like I have a PS5 sitting over here. The kids have my PS4 Pro in their bedroom. The Wii sitting in another room. Like I've always been a gamer, so I know what a HUD is and I understand the utilization of it. But when it came to like getting certain players, a good example would be Brad again. He's older. Showing him too much would sometimes be too difficult, and I didn't want to make it difficult on him. Great D&D player, knew what he wanted to do with his character. Just didn't quite know how to do it in Foundry.
Yes.
So then
yes.
So like we have this simple token action HUD. You click your token, who's you, and it's just inventory, spells, saves, checks, other.
Bam. Yeah.
But in Spelljammer, we decided a lot of them are of younger, and I mean like when I say younger, I mean like my age, and or gamers basically, and we're using like a HUD that looks like what's that game called? Solistus or Solista?
Yeah, what is that?
It's another
Or no, I'm thinking
RPG
of
game.
Solstice. right?
Solstice. Thank you. Yeah, you're saying it correctly. I'm not. So the HUD for that game, I actually have in Foundry for their characters,
Oh, sick.
and it's
okay.
very informative. What is your age? I am like 37, I believe.
I believe.
Yeah, and I don't keep track.
Hey, man,
I suck
hey.
at.
Age is
I am
just
the
a
worst
number,
at
baby
dates and
boy.
birthday. Like
Yeah,
horrible
got
at those things. No, the so in that HUD though, it's really useful. So it because it gives you like the other actions that not a lot of people know about, like dash, push, jump, things like that. Or ready, and
Yes,
so
yes,
it
yes.
provides that, and it also like separates what a bonus action is out of your bonus actions. So it helps out the, like, I want to say, new players really know what their options are.
Yes. That's massive. Do you need me to adjudicate? Is there a disagreement that I can weigh in on?
No, they're just they were just chatting loud.
Bring
and I'm
them
like,
before the
"Stop."
court of Carpe. All right, I am ready. I am ready to rule. Oh my
No,
gosh.
they're just being loud little
No,
children.
bless them, dude.
But
Listen.
no, like if I'm using the Yeti, like the Yeti took so long to configure because it's a really good mic, and so it picks up like my wife like walking in the back room, like in the bedroom, and like or like the cat farting. I'm like, how did you hear that? And this right here actually has pretty good noise suppression, so I just had to set that one up, and like
Yeah,
I was like,
well-
how do I get to stop hearing everything?
See, but like what you mentioned as well, like I think is such great advice for anyone that's trying to do an actual play, but it stems to table games as well. Like for you to run an actual play that's successful, you need to know everyone's vibe at this table. And part of
Yeah.
that includes like to what degree they want to technically be entrenched. You know what I mean? Because it's not just enough for everyone to be okay with streaming it. You know what I mean? I think it has to be, literally a willingness to be interactive to some degree. In terms of with the software, with the
like
you know.
we talk, and like I tell everybody man, it's rough because the Discord's always, there's a bunch of people in there and they're like, oh, let's play, but they when it's time, they're like, hey, I'm doing a new game, they're like, oh, I'm busy. I'm like, yeah, so then I end up like, oh, I'm gonna go on Facebook and I have to explain to people what I do, which gets weird.
Yeah.
And so I find individuals, I'm like, hey, so this is what I'm doing, all right? I was like, so I stream, I need to see your face, and you got to talk to people. I'm like,
Yes. Okay.
otherwise, you'll get a cool game, you'll have fun, and no one's gonna judge you. We're just gonna laugh all together,
Yeah.
and probably at me more often than anything. And oh, go ahead.
Well,
Sorry.
no, I'm just curious. So did you then, the table you've built now, because there's a lot of, kind of, Liz will play and then she'll DM, and some of the members in Sage, Mad Mage are also in, the Call of Cthulhu campaign, and
Yep.
like just stuff like that. And did you, and I mean, I'm more just curious, like, did you, are most of these like internet friends? I mean, did you kind of connect with them and kind of put out the word?
A few of them. So like I said, Travis, Liz, Chris, they actually live near me.
Okay. Sick.
So, but like Lou, he's known me, like we've known each other our whole lives. But he's in California.
Okay. Cool.
And so like a lot of them I've known, or like Cody, who's like, we've all connected through D&D, and basically we've all, I don't know, we've all just grown through each other, I guess, and like connecting with friends. Like they're like, one of them will be like, hey, I'm bringing my friend into the Discord. They're really interested. They watched the stream. I'm like, yeah, whatever, man.
That's
Don't care.
sick,
Like, let them
dude.
come in. Let them be part of it. And so, like I said, I've watched like Dylan. I watched Dylan go from like his first game to like now where he's at. It's so great to see him grow.
Yeah.
And Cody's like this great character for everything he does. Like I love his characters.
It's beautiful when like a first time player, you see them really starting to role play, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Really
Exactly.
like making decisions.
Being
as
the
a character. It's
Yeah,
dope.
and
Dude, I don't know why I'm thinking of this, but it's because we're talking about a lot of things. Is there anything? Well, because Sage. That's a great point. Like an actual play is going to be more performative, right? That's to some degree going to be an aspect and a consideration, even if it's just how you DM, right? Needing to sort of have things a little bit more, paced and an awareness of that. But is there something either about just DMing in general or specifically about streaming as a DM that you absolutely hate? Because I never asked that, and I'm just curious because I feel like you have a ton of experience and could.
I think it's more like things that I let's see. I try to.
Hate is strong.
I have a well. I mean, I get you. There's a lot of things I want to do on the stream,
Richter.
or like just prepping your players. Sometimes I feel like I could do better at prepping, but I am a stay-at-home dad with 4 kids, so sometimes they're going to take priority over what's going on. But
we
like,
all saw the candy exchange.
I have high standards, or at least I put out high standards. I have like everyone will be here at this time, and then I won't show up, and then I show up. They all give me a hard time. They're like, "Oh, here's Mike. Mike's finally here. Lord Mike has arrived. We were all here." And I'm like, "Listen, do as I say, not as I do."
That is so fucking good, and very much me to a small degree. Like, punctuality is very important to me, but I feel like sometimes the Zoom culture like just gets me jammed up where I'm like, oh, I've got 3 minutes, plenty of time to make a sandwich. You know what I mean? Like, it's just
to make a sandwich.
It's absurd.
That must not be a good sandwich.
Yeah, 100%. It's like, bro, that's toast. What you made was toast. Oh my God. But yeah, like, what would you say? Like, what is the... Like, so the one thing you hate is just like the...
It's more like the prep. So like I really like
feeling like you don't prep enough.
Yeah. Like I really, so like streaming, a big part of streaming is a consistent start time. And like now it's like a joke with some of the players, and it drives me crazy. Where it's like, oh, we'll start at like 8:30. And I'm like, stop it, no, we're gonna start at like 8 o'clock. I want to start at 8. And that is what I hate. Is sometimes I'm not prepared quick enough for things, and it just happens.
That's real.
You know, I hate because I do use a virtual tabletop sometimes, and I use a lot of custom stuff in there. You know, a lot of custom stuff because I don't want to sit there and not have I don't want to have to make everyone roll 24 dice. I like automation. Done it throughout my whole life. My career. If I can make it automated, I will do it. So like D&D in Foundry with me is automated. You do get the target, you click attack, you roll dice, you get to customize your dice, you can throw your dice, you can do whatever you want with your dice, all that stuff. But like saving throws, reactions, it tells you, it pops up, it's gonna roll. Like for me being a DM, if someone's cast fireball on all my little enemies, it's gonna automatically roll all their saves for them and apply damage.
Are you kidding me? That's awesome.
No, so it saves us time, so we can actually progress a little quicker.
Wow.
Have more story.
I am going to have to make a note to self. That's through Foundry?
Yep.
Sage,
Foundry
weigh in on
ETT.
this. What the fuck is that? I mean, I did not. I mean, obviously, I knew people use it as a virtual tabletop. So is the only way that is occurring if you are running your map on Foundry?
I mean, I don't. So Roll20, when I looked into Roll20, because I had to think about what was I gonna go with, right? When I was coming down to streaming, here I'll post a link for everybody.
Cool.
When I sat there and I was like, what am I gonna use? And I'm, I talked to a few of the Lou, because Lou was like, oh, Roll20, everyone seems to use Roll20, and I'm like, okay, but I'm gonna be paying a monthly fee for this premium version, so I get dynamic lighting, and yes, I get access to an API basically being able to write macros and stuff. I was like, that's kind of cool, but I have to keep paying this and keep paying this.
Got it.
Then I was like, Foundry. I'm looking and I see Foundry, and $50. They want $50
out the
and
door.
That's it. And it's just a license. It's a web-based
which
server,
is how it should fucking be, right? This subscription bullshit is gotta go. Like, it's gotta go.
So I sat there and I was like, I'm gonna go with this, and I read, I researched, I looked, and people it has like not open source, but freehand development going on with it, where like someone's like, oh, I want it to do this, and someone's like, yeah, man, I already did this.
That's so sick.
And it's like, oh, what did you use? So we all talk, and we're all part of this huge community with Foundry, and
awesome.
They have so much in there that you can use. Like there's like animations, like we have animations in Foundry. You know, you go and you want to swing a sword, you'll see a sword pop out and slice. You'll hear a sound effect.
Bro, how am I so late to this? Appreciate Richter and Sage knowing this and not telling me for months. What the
Foundry,
shit?
so yes, Foundry can have hidden costs. It all depends on like your knowledge. So like, for instance, a good example of that, Richter, would be I used to run Foundry at my like on myself. I have another computer back here. Also got that one for free, but I set that up as like the server, and we would run it through there. The issue with that was, my East Coast players would have latency issues,
Really?
and it's not but I'm West Coast, so
Sure.
East Coast people would have like some high ping. So I made the choice, and I was like, you know, I can afford it. I have the money, and I use what's called the Forge, and I placed it onto the Forge. That way, everybody gets the same. We're all in the same connection.
Now you're not hosting it anymore.
Correct. I don't host it. Now, mind you, everyone's asked me to host it again because my worlds are too big.
Forge is like, Mike, you gotta go, dude. This is
no.
absurd.
Well, it's so like the resources they provide me aren't heavy enough for like some of the worlds. So, like Mad Mage, those maps are huge.
Bro, those maps are huge. Like I'm constantly bamboozled by them.
So like the fact that like they're so big, sometimes it takes a minute to load in, or like something happens where like I need to update and it's like 8 p.m. and I'm like, oh, there's an update, so I have to update something, and then I restart that server and it's like everyone's like trying to log into it. I'm like, guys, stop trying to log into it. I'm like, give it like 15 minutes. That's a big world. That world takes forever to load, so just give it a minute. But yeah, there's so many different solutions. Exactly. Like if you, depending on your knowledge, like you can definitely host it yourself. And like all these people on Reddit were like freaking out because they're like, how do I host it myself? What do I do? If you have internet, protocol IPv6, which most of us all have nowadays, you don't have to do anything different to your computer. You literally install Foundry, you send out your invite link, and they can connect to you because it's smart enough to understand what's going on. If you don't, yes, you have to open up a port, and sometimes that's scary. But there's other ways you can do. You can do a whole lot of things to make it ran right through you, and have it secure. But Foundry is great. But you're right. There's a lot of little hidden costs. But like my Foundry isn't cheap. Like I do pay for a lot of custom stuff. I don't always have time to write code. So like I find people on Patreon, and I'm like, you have some cool fucking things that I'm using. I'm gonna keep supporting you. That way you keep developing. That's how I operate.
And see, that's legitimately. I'm not even to like virtue signal or whatever. Like I love doing that for artists, just period. Where I'm like, you know what, dude? Like I can't buy that because it's $4,000. You know what I mean? And it's a fucking oil painting. But here, I mean, here's $30. Like keep crushing it. You know what I mean? Like can I buy 3% of it? And it's the same thing with people that design cool tech. Like, especially when it's open source, you want to support that. So I appreciate that. I mean, in Richter, Sage, completely agree with that. I mean, it does. I mean, there's very few things that aren't going to eventually like be nickeling and diming to some degree. But you got to find what works out. Like what
the cool thing with the Foundry is that a lot of those people who are developing modules for them, and like I'm paying an extra, $5 or $10 a month too. They're actually being acquired by Foundry team. Like they slowly have been like, hey, we're gonna hire you, and we're just gonna integrate all of these cool features that you made into Foundry because everyone loves it. And so they're like, oh, okay. So then the person now has a job.
Yeah.
And you could still help them on Patreon if you want, but like all those cool features they had are now just built into Foundry.
Dude, I will blow up your Discord on a separate time because I need to scope that out. That's awesome. Like that sounds so rad. It sounds like a tabletop OBS.
It's a good tabletop. Like I love it. Like I said, the things that I do in it, like, man, like I said, you can do a lot of the things in Roll20. It's just a little different.
Sure.
I just didn't feel like paying a monthly subscription for things that like were pretty basic.
Well, you kind of just gotta, because there's also something to be said though for like having it all in one spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
that is a nice spot. That was cool.
It's like consolidated.
Same thing for me. So,
right.
Like I was like, okay, they do have like that deal with them, to where you can buy, this book came out, I can buy the book. It's good. I'm gonna load it into. Luckily, Foundry has people, and they
Yeah.
connect it to D&D Beyond, and I can go all my D&D Beyond stuff, upload all of it. So I have 3,000 monsters in my
Oh,
my
that's
folder
rad.
on Foundry. So
Meanwhile, your boys over here, creating PNGs and dropping them into Owlbear like a fucking American hero over here. It's how,
yeah, yeah, Forge is a monthly fee.
Is it? Okay, cool.
It's Forge itself is mine is the largest
I didn't
tier. I
realize
think it's
that.
like
I didn't realize that.
13. Yeah, no, Forge. So like Foundry is $50, like period. If you're gonna host it yourself, you're fine. If you're gonna host it on a server, but mind you,
Got
there's
it.
other servers out there. I just use the Forge. I haven't tried the other one, so I don't know how they work. I don't know like what their costs are either, but the Forge does have like 3 tiers, and it's free to all your players as well. So
Well, that's a great thing, by the way. Yeah, especially for people wanting to start actual plays, which I feel like I do get a fair amount of just inquiries about, period. Like a lot of what brings people to Twitch is like a desire to stream a lot of times.
Yeah.
So they're kind of scoping it out. But dude, that's awesome. I appreciate you as well, Sage and Richter, like dropping that in. I oftentimes am so caught up in, either just like auditions in life and whatever, but in the like creating of either the content or the executing of the game, that I have really felt that where I'm like, dude, fuck, like there's just been a handful of things that I've wanted to add to certain elements that I'm going to and this has been extremely motivating. But I want to ask you, dude, because we are contractually obligated to do the rapid fire. So that will be coming, all right? I also need some hard candy. I know we got to call it at some point. But I really want to ask you this before we hop into that, like, because you've run so many different worlds and different kind of tones of table. Are there any monsters that you've run, homebrew or manual, whatever, or situations that you've run / created, again, however you want to interpret it, that you particularly like enjoyed or are like proud of to a degree? You know what I mean?
I guess everything really, like not one
Don't you
particular. Yeah, oh yeah. It's really everything. Right now Spelljammers is really exciting for me. I guess because it's just new and shiny. But
Sure.
like Wednesday's group, like they're facing off against a red dragon, and then there's gonna be more reveal things in that. But like it's all fun. Like I really love the hype that the party gets. Like they're like, oh god, we're gonna fight this. Like I said, they're like terrified. I'm like, there's 7 of you, calm down.
Yeah.
And they're like they're sweating, and I'm over here like I'm the one sweating because I'm like, you have no idea how much damage you just did in your first round of combat. And
Yeah.
I request Shakespeare.
Yo,
Wow.
redeem those points, Vogley. Redeem those points. I had a Shakespeare callback
I
this week.
recommend-
That's why I'm on it like that.
I recommend Christopher Walken.
Bro,
So-
you are a generous and gracious friend. No, that's
great, man.
That's.
Oh, she redeemed it.
Did you? Oh,
She did.
Sage, you bitch.
Oh, staged it.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. I will end the stream by doing something from Othello, as I did yesterday as well. Look at you guys. Look at that synergy. Ask and you shall receive. So, but wait, we got to get more than that, Insomnia. We can't be
No,
everything.
so like
the Spelljammer, I get that. I more mean, this is what I'm talking about. Is like there was a time, like recently ran a Storm Giant and loved just recoloring some of their spells to be almost like they were like literally manipulating clouds and bringing them down. So I just like gave him other elements. I literally gave him Fog Cloud. He already has a version of Lightning Bolt, but not that that's like the be all end all. I more mean some element, and it could truly be, you could say all of them, but that you just enjoyed it. Like you enjoyed the playing of it, like the running of that monster or the running of that situation.
Okay, so I guess for that, it was really fun to. I kind of accelerated the for the Dragon Heist campaign when they went up against the Cast Lanterns. I kind of had like I had them summon Asmodeus.
Yes. Wow. Asmodeus, let's go.
Yeah, and
yes.
I had this, but it was like an
Yes.
avatar, but it was like a weakened form, and so it was fun to kind of beat the crap out of them with him.
Yeah.
Like that was fun. I kind of tweaked all his stats, and Made things, of course, less terrifying than he normally is. And
Yeah.
I did like the whole like World of Warcraft, when you get to the oh god, Ragnaros, and it's like too soon, like that whole thing.
Yeah.
And so he gets summoned, and he's like, "Oh, what is this? This isn't what I wanted." And they're like, that's scary." And I'm like, "He's not that scary, actually."
He's more of
like,
a goofiest mode.
Yeah. Well, hey, he's like a piece of it, and he kicked their asses for a minute, but he ran out of everything that he had.
That
was fun.
is the juice I wanted squeezed, Insomnia. Thank you for accommodating me, because that is not only hilarious and compelling, but so you, my dude. You know what I mean? Like, that is so you.
I enjoy everything that I do. Like, it's all fun, and so like I have like an evil Dragonlance coming up this Monday.
Fuck yeah.
Which no one's done that, so I'm like, oh, that's gonna be fun. So like they all get I gave them the choice. I was like, look, I have a homebrew Draconian race. You only get to play once, because when a Draconian dies, they like have horrible things that happen when they die. So I was like, you get to play it once. You can come back as a different character, but not a Draconian. And all of them chose to be Draconian, but 2 of them, and so it's gonna be interesting, and it's gonna be fun. Like it's gonna be a great little show there.
Yes.
But then we also have like the Hero Dragonlance coming out on Thursday.
Wait, wait a minute! You told me about this. You guys are doing both.
Yeah. Well, like I'm playing in Thursdays, DMing the Monday. Yeah.
I remember you guys were talking about that, and I inquired in chat. That is so rad. When is that starting again?
This coming Monday.
Coming Monday, gang.
Yeah,
let's
and
go.
This coming, I think this Thursday we'll be starting the hero side of Dragonlance.
I am so pumped on that.
We're kind of in the ending battles for Call of Cthulhu. Like we're facing, I believe, the last big bad here coming up, and I believe our DM wants to take it and bring us into Fallout. Actually,
okay.
He wants to make us like the Fallout tabletop RPG.
Oh wait, does that exist, or he?
Yes, it does.
Really?
It does exist. So we're going to be. He has this whole scenario he talked to me about. Wink, wink, secret. But perhaps some nukes will go off, and then
let's go.
The future will happen. It will be Fallout.
Bro, I love that. I absolutely love that.
It will be fun.
And when does that start?
We're not positive yet on when that starts.
Okay.
We have to see. We have to see. It's already in the works. It's just basically what, like, it might be a month, it might be 2 months. It really depends on how the Call of Cthulhu games are going. We are facing off against, like, we're at like a big bad area right now, and it just depends on our actions. You know how that goes. So we could just die the next game. We could just die, and then like,
got you.
It's Call of Cthulhu. It's very dangerous.
Yes. See, I've never played. I've really only like, and man,
very fun system, a D100 system, but like a game where you actually see your progress. So like when you achieve skills and you do things like you like, I made it. At the end of each session, you run development phase and you actually like see your progress and you get better at these skills. The hard part is that you are only a human and you are only you have like 12 HP, and
I love it.
And
You're a
if
wizard.
you get shot,
yes.
Everyone's a wizard except no magic. And but like you get like you have to like, you can be anything you want in this game. There is like a class list. We were like, we can make anything happen. So like I'm an occultist. So like sometimes I speak and I drive the party insane. Our buddy Nate, other streamer, he plays a cultist. So like sometimes he speaks and he drives me insane. And then but like we have like a socialist from Finn, my buddy Travis. He's great. He's like he's kind of our military in. We have Cody, who plays Dusty Bottoms, the hobo.
Oh my god!
And he's literally a hobo with a shotgun. Bottoms,
dude. That's
what he has a shotgun and he just shoves shit in it and then like sees if it works or not.
Hey man,
sometimes it's
that's
great.
Dusty.
Hey, I got a hold of pipe bombs in that game. I was so excited, but like I have no throwing skill, so I went and threw the pipe bomb, and I got a so like high rolls are bad, so I got a 99, so it's a fumble. So I throw it, and like Dan, the DM's like, yeah, you toss it, and it bounces off the glass and lands right behind you, but you don't notice, and I'm like, oh no.
Dude, that is so good. I mean, y'all, you are getting a glimpse into Insomnia's games. And when is the Cthulhu stream?
Cthulhu is Sundays.
Sundays.
Yeah, our schedule is like busy, so
no, you guys stream a lot.
What will be happening soon here is going to be basically we have tonight, which is Adventures in Waterdeep, and then Thursday we will have the Heroes of Dragonlance.
Yeah,
Friday we have Spelljammer. Saturday we have Mad Mage. Sunday we have Call of Cthulhu.
Let's
and then
fucking go. And then
Monday we
you
will
start
have
the Fallout.
The Devotees of Takesis.
Oh, okay, my bad. Yes.
Well,
is
yeah,
TBD.
Fallout is going to be
Yeah.
the conclusion, like however Cthulhu ends, it will replace Cthulhu. But like I said, Dan's thinking of like, oh, to stop, you guys may have stopped it, but regardless, the nukes went off, and
Let's go. Well, man, truly, I'm primed on that, guys. If you don't already, please drop Insomnia a follow. They run some great games. I did not know you were adding that much as well, dude. That's amazing.
Oh yeah, well, busy.
Okay, here's how this is gonna go. Richter, I see and acknowledge the Shatner. It shall be so. I'm not gonna lie, Shatner's gonna be a reach for me, but I will give you an approximate version with zero prep, having never done a Shatner. I will give you what I have. But after that, here's what's gonna happen. We're about to put Insomnia through the rapid fire. Guys, look, if you're not already holding onto your butts, hang on to your butt. But after we do the rapid fire, Insomnia, instead of me just soliloquizing this scene, I'm going to drop it to you and we're going to read it together.
Oh, God.
Yes. So you're going to be dragged into Act 4 of Shakespeare's Othello. But before that, are you ready, Insomnia? For the rapid fire.
Can't be any worse than my games.
You say that now. Okay.
I know, right? Yeah.
William Shatner. Shatner, for me, is always a bit more of a snappy talker. So my first question for you. Standard array, point buy, 46 drop lowest, or 3d6?
46 drop lowest.
46 drop lowest. You're a kind man.
I am.
Table snacks, sweet or savory?
I like both, actually.
You can't say that. You have to choose one.
Okay. I'll say, you know what? Most of the time here, I am savory.
Savory, so all right. D100 or D12?
D100.
D100, all right. Well, I didn't anticipate that coming, but there it is. You've heard it. If you can only play one for the rest of your life, are you going to be a spellcaster or a marshal?
Ooh, I guess, yeah, spellcaster.
Spellcaster, very well. Vampires or werewolves?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Werewolves.
Cowboys or pirates?
Cowboys.
Cowboys, all right, there it is. You heard it. Giants or dragons?
Dragons.
Wow, I thought you would say giants. If you could only take one for the rest of time, red dragon or a gold dragon?
Only take one for the rest of time?
Yes.
I guess a gold dragon.
Blue
More
dragon
mischievous.
or a copper dragon?
Blue.
Wow, really leaving copper out in the wind there. All right, very well. Gnomes or halflings, my dear friend?
Halflings.
Elf or dwarf?
Ooh, I'm gonna say dwarf. I have too many elves
That's
in my
right.
campaigns.
You've got too fine of a beard to not say dwarf. Tabaxi or tiefling?
Tabaxi.
Okay, here's the only one that you can say both on. Turtle or turtle?
Both.
Yes, all right, well played.
I like it.
A cleric, a bard, and a warlock all walk into a dungeon. Which one comes out?
The bard.
The bard? All right, how does he come out?
Hopefully dressed.
All right. If you had to jam yourself into one of the following player categories, which would it be? The edgelord, the min-maxer, the rules lawyer, or the actor?
The actor.
Oh, wow. All right. After you... come back to LA. We've got room for you here.
No.
Yeah.
I don't.
Life cleric or death cleric? Again, for the rest of your life.
Death cleric.
Wow, death cleric. Okay, very spooky and alarming, but I like it. Wizard or sorcerer?
Ooh. Wizard.
Mending or spare the dying?
Mending.
Wow, okay, it continues. And, second to last question. Scarier thing to encounter in a dungeon. A small boy that's lost and somehow immaculately clean, or an old woman wearing rags that won't stop laughing.
Probably the child. I know what that's like. F4.
D12 fighter and Doug. All right, last question. You're like, I know how scary a child can be. Yes or no? Should cats have dark vision?
Yeah.
All right. There it is. Very well played. I agree that the answer is yes. Celebrity impression within a rapid fire? Come on, guys. We out here. We out here doing it.
Good
Appreciate that, Richter. Thank you for that redeem. I would say that moved at times towards 45% of a Shatner impression. At times. It did fluctuate, but at times it got as good as 45%. Now, are you ready? This is normally where we do an outro. Where can we find you? But instead, today, Insomnia, you and I will be reading a play that's nearly 600 years old. That's some wild shit, dude.
Othello.
That's some wild shit. Do you enjoy Shakespeare? Do you have a favorite Shakespeare?
Not that I've been up to date with my Shakespeare or anything. We used to go to Shakespeare camp up in Oregon.
Cool.
That was an interesting thing. I think I did it more of like a, hey, I don't have to be in school for a week.
But like, what did that look like? Would you guys put on
Oh, no.
show?
We
Like,
were there to
sing?
watch. We were there to watch the show.
Oh, sick. That's awesome.
It was just like a big thing every year. They were like, oh, we're going to go do this. Everyone sign up. And it's like, all right. It's like, why not?
You're like, if I must. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys. Well, this is going to be an absolute treat. We have two actors,
Oh my
two
gosh, you're funny.
classically trained
Yeah, totally.
Shakespeare camp thespians. We actually both went out for a rep performance of Othello here in Los Angeles. And Insomnia, I'm happy to tell you, you booked the lead, which is not Othello. It's Iago, my friend.
Iago.
It is the true. I know. Listen, Sage. It's time for you to return, my friend. I think we can both agree. But you, what I just sent you, scroll down, and if you want to just Control F and look for Daffest, Daffest. That will bring you pretty much to where we're going to be running this.
Oh, Iago.
Richter
Okay, gotcha.
barred me, baby. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Until your table hits you with a Shatner for your monologue in game. Listen. Nobody
happen,
knows.
you
I mean, a DM has to do so much. Yeah, that Vogley Sage combo is really coming to fruition here, guys. And, you know, Vogley, I say Vogley. I know you told me once it was like, instead of Aristotle, it's Vogelstotle. So is Vogley a horrible butchering on my end? Anyway, feel free to let me know. Okay, Insomnia.
Yep.
So it is beginning with Rodrigo's entrance. It's about a rough maybe 3/5 of the way down the page of the link I've sent you.
Mm-hmm.
So just let me know whenever you get to enter Rodrigo, and then you are actually opening it with "How now, Rodrigo,"
Oh, what's that word? Okay, hold on.
and you'll be reading Iago again. We'll be going until the end of Rodrigo's line. We'll seek satisfaction of you.
You told me to do Control F, and that brought me farther away. Okay,
Did you
let's see
find
here.
Daffest?
Yeah, but it like went way down there.
Right. Well, is it every day thou daffest me with some device?
It was. Hold on. They're like getting rowdy.
I love it,
What is
dude.
going on?
They're like, yo, the pizza is gone, Dad. The hard candy consumed. What else you got for us?
What did you say I should say?
Oh, Daffest. Daffest.
Yeah. What was?
Oh,
the
it should
line,
be every day thou daffest me.
Okay, I see that.
Okay,
I
excellent.
Oh, enter. Okay.
Right? Exactly. Just
Dumb
like
me.
2 lines above it.
Yeah,
3
I
lines
see.
above it.
Yeah, I was like scrolling up because I was like, oh, there's more Iago. I was like, so wait, where is that? All right, I gotcha.
No,
Yeah.
no, you're good. It's Act 4, Scene 2, but it's the one I sent him doesn't have the line numbering on it, and it's about.
I am the tech guru, but that doesn't mean like,
Yeah.
I'm great at like finding exactly where it should be on a page. It means I gotta fix the webpage.
Oh,
if I
dude,
need
don't
to.
worry. That's where I come in with pirated Shakespeare. I got your back, dude. Okay, so let's both take a moment, and then let's do this damn thing, huh?
Sure.
And are you familiar with Othello or not?
Oh God, I don't think so. It would have been a long time ago.
Well, for those of you that are not, and for those of you that are just joining us, grab your butts. Because essentially, the situation, I mean, obviously Othello is like undone. He's sort of the Moorish leader of this area, this, I think, Venetian region of Italy. But Iago is his sort of like left-hand man, former general that served under Othello. And Rodrigo was also a soldier in this same company. But Iago and Rodrigo both kind of have beef with Othello. And you, Iago, have been manipulating Rodrigo, me, for the better part of the previous 4 acts. And now I'm coming to try to chop it up with you.
Oh, great.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoy this. So I'm going to throw my camera on, and then we'll rock and hit me with the How Now, Rodrigo.
Nope, I lost you. Hold on. There we go. No, why did your camera totally disappeared on me? Sorry. There you are. No, you like disappeared on my end. You're good. How now, Rodrigo?
I do not find that thou dealest justly with me.
What in contrary?
Every day thou daffest me with some device, Iago, and as it seemed to me now, keepest from me all conveniency, then suppliest the least advantage of hope. I will indeed no longer endure it, nor am I yet persuaded to put up in peace what already I have foolishly suffered.
Will you hear me, Rodrigo?
Faith, I have heard too much, for your words and performances are no kin together.
You charge me most unjustly.
With naught but truth. I have wasted myself out of my means. The jewels that you have had from me to deliver to Desdemona would half have corrupted a votarist. You told me she hath received them, and returned me expectations and comforts of a sudden respect and acquaintance, but I find none.
Well, go to. Very well.
Very well? Go to? I cannot go to, man, nor 'tis not very well. I think it is scurvy, and begin to think myself fobbed in it.
Very well.
I tell you, man, 'tis not very well. I will make myself known to Desdemona. If she will return me my jewels, I will repent my unlawful solicitation and give over my suit. If not, assure yourself, I will seek satisfaction of you.
You have said now.
And that's the scene.
Oh,
Let's go, Insomnia. Hey, you couldn't stop.
I totally lost your camera for a minute there.
Did you?
Yeah, I was like, I clicked. I don't know what. I fucked up and clicked the fucking button. You like disappeared. I was like, oh fuck. I was like, I minimized you. I don't know why I minimized.
No,
but,
dude,
I didn't
Insomnia,
just minimize you.
Your instincts to
sent
continue. Come on. Hey, that worked for me, bro. Because Othello, I mean, Iago is so indifferent in this moment.
Yeah,
and
he really
I
didn't
felt that
fuck.
from you. I felt that.
He was like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, he's like, all right, go to, dog. Oh, man. Sage, thank you for redeeming that, man. That was fun to chop off. And thank you, Richter. Yeah, I more or less streamed that into a monologue and used it for this callback yesterday. I love it. I love how Rodrigo's just like, my guy, I'm broke. It's not good, dude. It's
like,
not okay.
He's like, no, you're well. Don't worry about it. He's
Yeah,
like, no,
I'm fucking
not.
telling you I'm not. Like, that shit is so
It's like,
real.
I was shot. No, you weren't. Just will it away.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Insomnia, you have been too kind. I mean, reading with me? Come on. Tech questions? Being a father to 4? You're doing it all, bro. You're doing it all at once. Before we get out of here, how can we best support you? Like, how do we stay in touch?
Come on over to Insomnia Night RPG on Twitch. That's it. Just come over, hang out, watch.
I cannot recommend that enough. We're going to do a quick shout out. Just to give people a taste. Just to give them un po de gusto.
Hopefully
right?
it's not like one of the horrible scenes.
Well, it probably will be, all right, with my luck.
Right.
But just understand, as I'm reacting and going slack-jawed, it's because of the shout out. Here we go.
I didn't know the touch of a hand until I was already a man.
Dude, you're a sock puppet. That's the one. That was you as
Oh
a
yeah,
sock
it is a sock
puppet.
puppet. Yeah, that is me as a sock puppet. Yep.
Let's
Oh,
fucking
gosh.
go. Insomnia, you're such a stud, dude. Thank you for
Love it.
taking the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you for breaking us off on what's what, who's doing what. Much like you, I like to end these D&D streams by, just popping in on another D&D stream. You know what? We have got to slide on Foos. They're running an interest of
she going right
cheese.
now?
She's
Nice.
such
Oh, yeah,
a
yeah.
boss. So that's where we're going to head over. Guys, thank you so much for coming through. This has been Rowdy, Richter, Sage. I mean, I feel like we made a ton of new friends today. Vogley, thank you for coming through. Raven, appreciate you. Gervanch, my guy. Big Poppy the Animal making a pass at Insomnia. What a treat. What a treat. But we're gonna raid Foos now. So please go over there, send her some love if you can. I'm streaming some prep tomorrow and some Xbox on Friday. And till then, take care of yourselves and each other. Insomnia, you got anything else for us?
Oh, that's it, man. I'll see. Hopefully, I see some of you guys tonight.
Dude, yeah, exactly. I will definitely be blowing up your chat, I promise. Because I need to be, again, redeeming some more points and dropping some channel points just to fuck with shit.
Do it. Do it.
Okay, cool. Well, guys, we're out of here. I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace. As in, wait, does that even work? Did I raid? Hold up. There it is. Peace. Now I got it. Now we're